Hello, today I will give you an introduction of the B250-BTC motherboard. This is a motherboard. It includes in total 12 PCIe slots. But notice that this is an improvement of the motherboard, because before it's just a PCIe slot. Now it's improved to become a USB interface. This is a big improvement because normally you need to, when you're using a PCIe eraser, you need to put this one on the motherboard. However, this one is a bit loose, so with this improvement, you don't need this small stuff anymore. You can directly put the data cable to the USB slot. Then it's become more efficient and more stable. Okay, let's continue have a look. This motherboard includes the 2 slot DDR4 memory slot and 4 SATA cable, and this is a 24-pin power slot and CPU slot, and this is a jumper cables. You need to put 2 black one if you want to switch on the power on the motherboard. And this side, you can see it includes a mouse keyboard port and HDMI port, 2 USB 2.0 port and 2 USB 3.0 port, and this is a network slot. The motherboard itself is quite solid and with good quality, and you can see, yeah, it's quite good. And the CPU it uses is with socket 1151. It supports the Intel Generation 6 and Generation 7. Now let's compare with original PCIe slot, this one, and the USB slot. Okay, as you can see, for the original PCIe slot, you need this small stuff to put it on the motherboard, and you can see, you can easily, you see, move it. It's not very stable. Sometimes cause the mining rack stop working. You see? So, with the improvement, it's very stable. See? Very stable. Now let's have a look about how to install the jumper cable. If you only have one cable, then you need to install it here. The power switch. This one. And if you have multiple, then you need to also put the power LED here, and then you need to put the HDD LED here, and reset switch here on the first line, like this. And you need to put the CPU in the socket, and don't forget the CPU cooler power cable here. And then you need to put the CPU power 4-pin cable here, and the 24-pin here, and the memory here. So this is a very basic setup of all the necessary components. The CPU and the CPU cooler, CPU fan cable, 4-pin CPU power, jumper, memory, and 24-pin slot. And of course HDMI to the monitor. Now let's start it to have a look. See, the pin is spinning. You need to wait for a while, around 25 seconds for the first load up. After the first load up is finished, then you only need to wait for 1 second. See, after that, you see, it's now start up. Okay, it stopped and then spin again. Now it can go into the BIOS. What you can do if you want to load the default BIOS is that press F9 and then press F10 to save and exit. So that next time you only need to wait 1 second to power up the motherboard. The BIOS is already pre-configured for mining, so you don't need to do anything on the BIOS. Now if we press F9, it will show load optimized default, and press enter and press F10. It asks you to confirm, save configuration and exit, press yes. Then the motherboard will be restarted. It immediately go into the BIOS, now only within 1 second. Next step is to put the hard disk, SATA hard disk connected with the motherboard. Here is a SATA cable, here is a power for the SATA cable, and here you can connect the data cable to the motherboard. And let's start. HiveOS, start it. Let's see. Start up. And then you can set up your HiveOS account for the mining rack and start mining.